Well, if you didn't catch Saturday pre-flight in our Fast Five segment, we briefly touched on this, and we were going to discuss it a little further on Man Man with the Show. We just wanted to get a little bit more information as far as what is going on, what the hell is going on. We picked up bounding into comics on this story. Elizabeth Banks is creating an adult sequel series for the Flintstones. It already sounds terrible. Yeah, Bedrock, it's being touted. And we'll read a little bit into this. Elizabeth Banks, the director of the failed Charlie's Angels reboot, who blamed men for the film's failure, is apparently working on an adult-themed sequel series to the hanna-barbera classics, The Flintstones. Banks' adult-themed series is being produced by Fox. A press release from Fox details the show catches up with the Flintstones family 2 decades after the original, with Fred on the brink of retirement and 20-something Pebbles embarking in her own career. It adds, as the Stone Age gives way to a shiny, enlightened new Bronze Age, the residents of Bedrock will find this evolution harder than a swing from Bamm-Bamm's club. The show is being produced by both Warner Animation and Fox Entertainment. Banks and Max Handelman are the executive producing through Brownstone Productions. They are joined by Dana Schneider and Lizzie Kearns, who will be co-executive producer. Kearns is also writing the pilot script for the show. Her credits includes Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, which I don't like, where she's a staff writer. She also wrote 2 episodes of DC Superhero Girls, which is awful as well. Has written a number of episodes of Cleopatra in Space. You see where we're headed for. She also appears to be super woke based on her Twitter account. In November 2020, following the election of the current president, she wrote ATTN privilege evangelicals. It is finally appropriate for you to post memes to say that God is on the throne. Go ahead now. More recently, in January, she wrote, if you are an evangelical and you don't want to get lumped with those Christians, here's a tip. Denounce the supremacy. Amazing how many people would apparently rather write a dissertation on theological nuisances than simply denounce supremacy. You see where we're going with this. You're hiring people that just basically are very radical, racist.
You know, morons.
As you say. Nonetheless, Fox executive Michael Thorne is excited about the show. He stated, long before The Simpsons and Springfield, the Griffins, Quahog, or even the Belchers started serving burgers on Ocean Avenue, there were the Flintstones and Bedrock. He added, their imprint on the animation universe is undeniably and the idea of adapting it for today's audience is a challenge we here at Fox very much looking forward to taking on with Warner Brothers. Elizabeth and Lindsay, no pressure whatsoever, really. Yeah, a lot of pressure there. Warner Brothers executive Peter Giraldi also stated the Flintstones are the first family of primetime animation. Elizabeth and Lindsay have to take a brilliant take on these characters. Fox and Brownstone are the perfect partners to bring them to primetime. This is going to rock. Sorry. This show looks like it's going to be an absolute disaster just from the get-go. Banks is a huge red flag, especially from her antics with Charlie Angels. Absolutely. If you remember, Banks spoke with an Australian Herald Sun where she blamed men for the film's failure before it even hit theaters. You got to remember, she was yelling at men, don't go see the movie. And guys didn't show up. So what happened? She started to blame men because it failed. She stated, look, people have to buy tickets to this movie too. The movie has to make money. Yeah, but it has to be good too. People are tired of all the crap. All you got to do is look at the Oscar ratings just in the last 2 weeks. And you see that basically people don't want to be preached to anymore. If this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces the stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go to see women action movies. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that one. She then bemoans what men like to see at theaters. They go and see comic book movies with Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel. We don't like Captain Marvel because they are a male genre. So even those movies about women, they put them in the context of feeding the larger comic book world. So it's about, yes, you're watching a Wonder Woman movie, but we're setting up 3 other characters, or we're setting up the Justice League. Yeah, but that's the way it's supposed to be. It's, you know, if you're doing a universe like Marvel, you're setting it up for bigger films. Banks would eventually reveal the real reason she wanted the film to be a box office success. By the way, I'm happy for those characters to have box office success, but we need more women voices supported with money because that's the power. The power is in the money. You're incorrect. Women have been in movies for a long time. Action, adventure, they've been all over. It is no surprise that Banks would tap a writer like Kearns, who's based on her tweets more than likely holds the same woke worldview. And then maybe the biggest red flag, who is in their right minds wants to see Fred Flintstone about to retire. Who wants the Flintstones sequel series? Not to mention they're trying to turn it into an adult comedy. The whole show is going to be a complete disaster. And I have to agree with that. I have to agree. You have to understand one thing. The Flintstones have progressed for many decades now. There have been newer shows. We've seen Pebbles grow up. We've seen Pebbles have children. Gotten married, has children. We've seen the evolution of the Flintstones. We don't need an evolution like this. See, one of the major problems I have with this is they're trying to introduce the Bronze Age in a time period with, technically, it's a lot longer period that the Bronze Age came in. It's not in this time period. Now, I understand. Yeah, you're going to say it's a cartoon. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon. And you're mixing up eras just because you want to make changes. Now, if you wanted to be smart, you might have wanted done a Flintstones Bronze Era with a whole new descendants of the Flintstones. Throwing that out at you. See, you have to think about these situations. See, the problem is with all these people that they're making all these new advancements on the television shows, these old classic shows that they're trying to take them and mold them to their political aspects, is they have no more ideas. They're bankrupt. They're totally bankrupt. Elizabeth Banks ruined the Charlie's Angels. And she says, well, men don't want to see women. We have been seeing women in action flicks, dramatic films, many different types of films, TV series, and stuff like that for a long time. I grew up with Angie Dickinson when she was policewoman. And, of course, I've watched Charlie's Angels as well. You've had many TV series that have come through, many films. I could tout a great female martial artist, Cynthia Rothrock, who's had some great films. Some of them are hard to get these days. I mean, if you have never seen a Cynthia Rothrock movie, catch it. In fact, I think she has a YouTube page where she does exercise and stuff like that. She's still in great shape. And there have been many other women throughout the years that have created their own TV series of all persuasions of minorities, white, black, Hispanic. We've had the gambit. When they tell you we need more representation, they are lying. They have been pushing this narrative for years. Understand, we had no problems in the 50s. We had no problems in the 60s. The 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Once we got into the 2000s, then we started getting problems. We had people saying, well, we don't have enough representation. We don't have a black superhero, so we need Black Panther. Forgetting that we had Blade. And we also had Mantis, which was one of the first on broadcast television. Yeah, if you haven't realized, Mantis was a African, and not a black superhero, an African superhero on broadcast television on Fox. And that was a couple of years before Blade. Even though the series didn't do well, there was problems with the writing. You know that they tried to change things around, and this is where you see where Hollywood tries to put their 2 cents in these things. And when you look at the perspective that you've had, I mean, you had Lindsay Wagner as the Bionic Woman. After the Bionic Man, Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man. You had such a great series that the Bionic Woman was. And yet we forget about, in the late 1980s to the early 90s, designing women. With Dixie Carter, Delta Burke, Annie Potts, Jean Smart, and Meshach Taylor. About women who owned a design firm in Atlanta, Georgia. Which was a great series. And then you had all the sitcoms. You had the Jeffersons. You had All in the Family. You've had Chico and the Man. I mean, representation has been there. The thing about it is, people are going to throw words at you. They're going to throw words that they said not representative enough. The money is they're not making enough money. Money is not being funneled into here. You have to remember the one important thing in this business. Will someone watch it? And we learn that greatly from the Oscars over a week ago. We had an Oscars that pushed a political ploy that only fetched about 10 million viewers from a normal 30 to 40 million viewers. And you see there, and the people who did watch gave it an F. Why? And like I said on Saturday Pre-Fight, the reason why they did it, because of what they were talking about. You know, do your job. That's what I gotta say. Act. Make a movie. Stop with all the preaching. You want to make a movie about preaching? Fine. Nobody's going to go see it, and that's the reason why. Nobody is going to go see it. But yet, you start to take creations like the Flintstones and just literally just start to burn it. How much more are you going to burn in history, in American history, on broadcast television? You know, they said, oh, the past was the past, and it was very racist and stuff like that. We had our issues, and we were growing. At one point, we were doing pretty good, till we got to the 2000s. Till we got to the point where companies started to listen to 10 people on Twitter decide what millions of people would want to watch. And then you denigrate the true fan base, the people who pay your money to you, the ones that go that they won't go to the movie once, they won't go twice, they will go several times. They will go at least a dozen times to see that same movie. And they will shell out the money to do it. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? That somebody will sit there and pay 12 times to go see that same movie. And then they will go out and buy the t-shirts. They go out and buy the models, the toys, the figurines. I mean, they will go through, they spend money. They'll go to the conventions and spend money. Now they're not spending. And you see the companies that normally make these toys are withdrawing their support to some of these shows. Ask CBS. How much support are they getting from the companies that make their product lines? Zero. There's not much that's left. Where are they getting their money from? I don't know. It's got to be overseas money, because basically, you know, once your product placement is removed, the stuff that you sell that makes you money so you can produce more. You know, what do you got left? What do you got left? This is why Doctor Who's dead to me. This is why Star Trek is dead to me. This is why Star Wars is dead to me. This is why the Marvel Universe is dead to me. You know, I've been looking for new stuff left and right. Stuff to watch, stuff to read. You know, right now, let me tell you something. There is going to be a manga shortage very soon. Why? Because they can't print them fast enough. They can't print them fast enough because they're selling off the shelves at a rapid rate because this is what people want. They want fresh new stories. Japan is piling those stories out left and right. No matter what you think of the stories, what the characters are, there are good, conscious, new stories. It is not the same every time. This is why My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer have done excellent in their fields. We hope this doesn't go further than the pilot, because for them to go a season with this, I'd be very, very disappointed. So you reached this part of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, a like, share this video, and we would appreciate your comments below. And we'll see you on the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye now. Oh, and before we go, don't forget to check out our new Teespring shop, our Q2Cast shop, and at our new address, Shop Q2Cast, where you could check out our new anime shirts that we have out. Anime shirts, pillows, just in time for the spring and summer. Go check them out. And we have some of our classics still available there from our TV shows. And we have more t-shirts on the way. We're redesigning the Q2Cast shop, our merch shop. We have a lot more coming. So do check us out. That's shopq2cast.com. One more time, that's shopq2cast.com. It is up and available just for you. And remember, all proceeds go to help this channel.
Gamera is really neat. He is filled with turtle meat. We all love you, Gamera.
Kill him. Better yet, I'll kill him. You push the button.